Good morning, everybody. My name is Paul Calamere. This is Your City, Your Voice coming to you live from 4680Q Radio, downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, across from the Meteor Crater. I'm listening to Bruce Springsteen, and I'm asking, what the hell is he still doing around playing music? I thought he was leaving if Trump got elected. Get the hell out of here. Okay, I just repeated that, but that's all right. Oh, we get into the show. So, how was your Halloween on Friday? Yeah, we had a great Halloween. 45 kids at my place. That's unbelievable. I usually get around 10. I usually get around 10 kids. 15 last year was a little bit more, but 45 is huge. It was great to see all the kids out having a good time. But with the Blue Jays game running on Friday night, the parents were hustling their butts to get those kids home so they could watch the game. By 7:30, it was over. Halloween was over. Everybody was turning their lights out. There was no more kids on the street. They're all cleaned out. Plus, it wasn't that great of a day. You want to get right down to it. It wasn't that fantastic. But yeah, we had a lot of kids, which is great to see. Some great costumes. I love standing there watching the kids have a good time on Halloween night. Okay, what's we got today here? We had 48 degrees. The temperature's falling. The barometer's falling. 48 degrees at 5:30 this morning. I don't know what it is out there now, but it is a 48. I don't think it's raining. It's blowing. Barometer dropping. Low pressure moving in. Rotten weather moving in. We know the story. But you know what? It's that time of year. And then we had to change the clocks back, which totally screws up everything. Because it just knocks you right out. You're used to this. You wake up and you think it's like 4:30. It's really 5:30. So you get up. It says 4:30 on the clock, but you're feeling fine. At night, you go to bed and it's like 9:30 and it's 10:30, which is usually when I hit the hay. 10:30, 11. But I still got another hour and a half because this goofy clock situation. I wish they just leave it alone. Taka, just leave it. Don't fool around with it anymore. And when we get this weather too, this cold, damp weather, your bones ache, and the older you get, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about if you're over 60, maybe even over 50 in some cases. It's terrible. So you got to be proactive, right? You gotta get ready for this kind of weather. Get acclimatated, whatever that word is. I don't know. I use my own words sometimes. Hey, either way. But you know what you got to do, though? You know what this weather's telling you is to get your car into Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Without a doubt. You know you got it in there. You know you got to get it in. Be proactive. You want the experts to take care of your car. They're going to make sure you are ready for winter. Brakes, systems, defrost, you name it, lights, camera, action, everything. They're going to look at your whole car and make sure it's winter ready. It's called winterization. And you want your car running right. You don't want to break down in this weather and have to call CAA and monkey around that kind of stuff. You want to get it right, and the way you get it right is taking the professionals who know what the hell they're doing. Ken Hunter at Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop will take care of you. Now, getting a wreck, it's got a full body shop. Take your car in wreck, send it back to you in showroom condition. You can't beat it. Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop, wildbillsauto.ca is where you go, see the services they provide, and they're going to just make sure you have a great winter of motoring with no stress or worry about your car. Now, while you're at wildbillsauto.ca, just take a little jump over to Your City, Your Voice, Paul Lemire, YouTube, and subscribe to the channel. Come on. We want everybody in there. We want people commenting. We want to see what's going on with people. Get their opinion on things. We have a lot of things coming up in the next month. A lot of things coming up to do with you and your taxpayer dollars. Do not let people spend your money who don't know what the hell they're doing. Have a say. And in that regard, you listen to the show because we're going to tell you how you have a say. And we're going to give you some guidance. Let's put it that way. A lot of people don't follow it as closely as other people. I follow it pretty close. My guests who come in follow it pretty close. They know what they're talking about. They can give you tips and of the trade, and away we go. So make sure you go to our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair and Body Shop. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamill Machine Company. I'll be talking about them later. But most of all, subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave comments, because we put the comments to people who know what the heck they're doing. And we get answers. That's what we want to do. We don't want the best counsel money can buy. We want the best counsel. Gabish? Okay, good. So, if you do have a comment during the show, you want to say something, you want to get a hold of me, say something on air. Well, here you go. I got another phone. See this little puppy here? That's the one. Compliments of Gary Wilkins. Hey, 289-994-7560. That's the number. All you have to do is punch it into your phone, dial it, and text me. You can't call because I won't answer it. If you call, I won't answer. I'm telling you that right now, only because nobody can hear you. The video won't pick it up. So no use calling. Just text me. Give me a text, what you're thinking. I'll get it on air. We'll talk about it. And I will present it to my viewers. Okay, I'm going to say that one more time. 289-994-7560. Okay. Public service announcement. I got a call from, I didn't get a call. I got a message. Most people message me. That's the best way to get a hold of me. From Mike Cushman, who is not only an environmental watchdog in Niagara, but he also makes canes. You know, canes that you walk with for people who have a problem walking. And he asked me to tell my viewers and listeners that if they know of anyone, or they need one themselves, of a veteran that needs a cane, he's made 35 of them. And if they contact him, he'll get them a cane at no charge. So somebody needs a cane, they can't afford to buy one, a veteran especially, Mike will help you out. So just get a hold of him via Facebook. He's got a Facebook page, Mike Cushman, or by email, kusherman@msn.com, or just phone him, 905-374-1064. That's 905-374-1064. And if you're a veteran and you need a cane, he will get you one. He loves our veterans, much like I do, much like Gary Wilkins does, much like everybody I know does. We like our veterans. We appreciate it. And Mike is putting that out there for them. If they need a walking stick, he makes them, and he's got 35 sitting there for anybody who could use one. And I want to thank Mike for that, for doing that. That's very nice of him. And I want to thank him for dedication to his cleaning up Niagara and to those who fought for our country. If you need a cane, get in touch with Mike. Okay, there you go. Public service announcement. And well. So, the Blue Jays. Blue Jayed it. Yeah, they didn't make it to the championship. They didn't win it. Loss in Game 7, extra innings. I couldn't have scripted a finale better myself. If you're a Hollywood script writer, you couldn't write a better story. There'll probably be a documentary made about the Blue Jays' amazing race to the pennant and then losing in Game 7. Heartbreaker, tearjerker, whatever you want to call it. I was hoping they would actually win it, only because in '93 they won it, and then Montreal Canadiens came back and won the Stanley Cup that year. And we got a pretty good team. Would be interesting to repeat that feat in '93, in 2025, once again, 32 years later. But you know what? I got a feeling if they won, Canadians would be treating it like they just beat the USA in their war or something. And you just know Canadians would do this. We're the best. We're the greatest. We beat them. We beat up. Teach that Trump, TDS Trump. Yeah, that's what would happen. I know it. If they won, they lost, so they can't even say that. They're second. Maybe next year they can come back and give it another shot. We'll see, but you want to blame the loss on anybody, don't blame it on any of the Jays. Blame it on Trump or climate change, one or the other. If it would have been nicer weather, they would have won. That's what these people blame everything else on, so why not you? Just comment on the internet over the weekend. I always find a comment that just makes me roar. And here's one. All the left-wing loonies are crying because Trump is tearing down the East Wing to build a spectacular ballroom in the White House. Meanwhile, not one of these people who are crying about the new ballroom Trump's building at his own expense, by the way, taxpayers aren't paying a dime for it. None of them complained when Michelle Obama tore apart her bathroom to have a urinal installed. Now that is funny. That's my funniest comment on the internet over the weekend. That is funny. I don't know if you get it or not. I do, and I laughed hard. That's a funny comment right there. You haven't noticed? Another pre-budget survey on the NiagaraFalls.ca website. They want your input. Please. Please. They don't want your input. Please. They say that, but they really don't. I looked at the survey. One part I didn't even answer any of the questions. It gave me no choices that I wanted. It was totally ridiculous. And like all the questions are all geared to push the result they want. That's how they make the questions. It's not a true survey. It's a map, a direction they want you to take, and they lead you to it with the questions they ask. If you want the truth, this city council couldn't care less about what you think. Seriously. If they did, they wouldn't be building $17 million walking trails and $25,000 concrete ping pong tables. That's the way it is. You can answer those questions if you want. I mean, who knows who answers these, or they never really give you. 500 people replied out of 100,000 people in Niagara Falls. So they say it's a survey. It's not a survey. It is nothing. 2 people say they want a $17 million walking trail. Most people say they want a walking trail. Hey, I'll guarantee you that $17 million represents, let's see, 700,000 in the 17 million, 10, 20, 20, about a 25% decrease on your property taxes. Would you rather have a 25% decrease in your property taxes or a $17 million walking trail? That's what they should be asking. Not if you want a $17 million walking trail or a $17 million exchange. What's the least of the worst? They got to put questions that people understand, because it's their money they're spending. And $17 million is a lot of money to be spent on a walking trail we don't need. Oh yeah, they're going to name part of it after Rob Nicholson, MP Rob Nicholson, which is valid. I don't disagree with that. I disagree with the whole walking trail in the first place, when we have 32 miles of the most beautiful walking trails in the world, a mile from here, not even a mile, half a mile from where I'm sitting. It goes 32 miles down the parkway, by the falls, by the gorge. That's whacked. So anyway, the survey's a joke. Check it out. They want your input. Surveys will be geared to truth, not leading you to certain areas in one direction. If they really want your opinion, think about this. These fugazis, these bachagaloop's, if they really, really, really want your opinion, why can't you leave comments on the YouTube broadcast of the city council meeting? Well, they open up the comments. Why? Because you know what people be saying, right? They don't want your comments. They don't want. Who has I have a video every day, a podcast. My comments aren't shut off. I leave them on. I want to know what people think. I want to know what people are thinking. Why would they close them off for a city council meeting where the people who are paying their way have a comment, have an opinion, have a say? No, they run these surveys that they can control. So you get it? You get it? Do you get it? Yeah. So they say they got a survey out. And I'm blanketing everybody. I'm using the same blanket to cover everybody on city council because there are a couple city councilors who really care what you think and they take your questions and they act on them. So there are a few. There are a few. I'm just using a blanket here, but we need more. That's my point. We need more. Every single person on city council works for you. From King James the Weird right down to no-dos. They all work for you. They all get paid by you, the taxpayer. So they should work for you. Not with surveys. By out on the street, working and listening to the heartbeat of Niagara Falls. What do people really want to see? Quit wasting our money. That's what they want to see. They want good roads, which we don't have. Oh, yeah, we got the Millennium Trail and the NST Trail and hey, most of them don't work there or don't walk on that, right? What they do is they drive on the roads. Okay, enough of that. Enough of that. Gary will be messaging me saying, calm down, take a deep breath. Oh man, it just blows my mind. I sit here every day and I just wonder where this stuff comes from. But it's there. It's there. Go take the survey if you want. Go take the survey. You'll see what I'm talking about. You make the call. You make the call. You make the call. And we'll see what happens at budget. Another 3 weeks. We got the budget coming up. We'll see what they decide. And we'll see how much they care about what you say. Because I know one thing. I don't have to take a poll to know everybody would like to see a 0% increase in their taxes this year. I don't need a poll. I know that's what they want. No matter what city council says, that's what they want. We'll see if they deliver, which I know they won't. I can tell you that I'll make a prediction. Fearless prediction. It'll be around 4.9%, and they'll say 3.9% to cover the inflation. Or inflation, I don't think it's running at 3.9%, but that's what they use. And then if that doesn't work, the consumer price index. If that doesn't work, the GDP price ratio to blah, blah, blah. They'll find something, and then they add another percent on for asset management. Boom. There you go, 4.9%. Over to Big Mouth Billy Bass up in Toronto. This guy, he loves to screw up trade deals with his big mouth. Well, his Toronto hometown is facing a real estate crisis. Yeah, he should worry about that more than what Donald Trump is doing, I think. Oh, prices of real estate have fallen 15%. Oh, there's a lot of people taking it. Oh, they're taking it on the chin, overpaying for properties. And now 5 years later, that was during COVID, 5 years later, all their loans are coming up for renewal at higher rates. Ouch. You. Some are calling it a crash. It's so bad. As pre-construction sales are also free falling to a 35-year low, and that, with declining prices, is a perfect storm of pain for real estate investors. Crash is being driven by a combination of vanishing investor demand, high interest rates, and a glut of existing inventory, which has led to canceled projects and a deep freeze in new construction. And we felt the effects here in Niagara Falls, Canada. How many things went through planning in the last year? I got a hair in my mouth. Too much hair floating around here. It's not from that, so forget about it, all you weirdos out there. We see that here. How many properties have gone through planning and we haven't seen one shovel turn? How many properties are sitting there idle that can't be completed? And now with this pre-sales dropping like a rock, nobody's buying them. Like they're not being able to pre-sell these condominiums and that. We have a 77 story. over here. We have a 72-story over here. We have two holes in the ground on Ferry Avenue and Ferry Street and down on whatever the hell that is, in Chippewa, Main Street and the corner where the boathouse used to be. Big holes in the ground, never developed, not seeing a shovel turn or anything happening. And that's why. And we're part of it in Niagara Falls, too. We have 50 or 60 planned buildings, maybe. I don't know, maybe even more. How do I know? And we have not one being built. The only thing being built are the smaller ones, like the one they just finished up on McLeod Road, and there's a few more smaller ones going in. They'll be all right, but the bigger ones, no. And that's why. That's why. And a lot of the Toronto market moved to Niagara Falls. There was a mass exodus driving prices to record levels in the falls. Building in Toronto was at an all-time high when things were a little bit better. But then it is all people that were taking advantage of the high prices in Toronto to offload their properties, to come to Niagara Falls and pocket a lot of cash. Well, that's all over. That whole thing is all over now. So, gone in a New York minute. They're gone, and you just look at the people, real estate agents who are on Facebook every day. Sold another one, sold another one. When is the last time you seen those guys on there having a great year? I haven't seen any of the ones I know. The only guy I saw that sold a few houses maybe is Rob Lalonde. He sold one or two or whatever. My buddy Rob for Revel Realty, but I don't know how the other ones are doing, but I haven't seen a lot. Usually used to see them every day. Another one sold, another one sold. Not anymore. Getting tough out there, and a lot of agents are getting out of the business because they can't make any money. Now, developers are not only struggling with high interest rates and lack of pre-sales, they've dropped 92% below the 10-year average in quarter three of 2025. So we just got out of quarter three. Now we're in quarter four, October, November, December, right? And they've seen construction costs increase dramatically, which means that there's cancellations and major delays in funding, as well as building. Investors' appetites have evaporated as rental demand cools. And I just think it's probably because of the sky-high prices that people want to rent their buildings right now. I mean, you look at Niagara Falls, it's pretty well, man, it's a tough haul for people to get a 2-bedroom apartment. You can't find one if you could, but it's very expensive. So rental demand is cooling. People are hanging on to where they live. It's cheaper to live in their house, even though they want to make a move, than to rent an apartment. And forget about condos with the price of condos and condo fees. They just can't do it. And so the business guys just say, well, we're not investing in that. If we can't sell them, it's not a viable business right now. And that's why we're seeing this. Existing inventory has surged because they were building like crazy. There's a large supply of condos available, often at prices lower than new construction, which creates intense competition. So the prices of the ones that weren't sold are lower than new builds because the prices have gone up. And that's what's driving low pre-built sales as well, right? And the economic conditions in Canada are not great right now. Slowing economy, high interest rates, negative real interest rates. It's more expensive to borrow money, which diminishes the profits of any investment. So they just hold off until it gets better for them. And prices are expected to continue to decline through Q4 of this year. We're in that now, Ontario, October, November, December. Some forces are predicting a total correction of 15 to 20% from the previous several years ago, from the peak. And that happened in my neighborhood. One house, the biggest sale was $960,000 in the bidding war. Now they're settled in around 600, 650, something like that. So it's going to be a slow recovery into 2026. And it's going to continue into 2029, they're saying. Wow. So the correction should shift the market from small investor focused condos to larger, more family oriented units. The only kind of buildings that appear to be going up right now in Niagara Falls, and other most other planning approvals have been put on hold. There you go. Not a great situation there. Oh, big mouth Billy Bass. What are you going to do about it? And we'll see what the federal government's going to do about it tomorrow, because they're handing down their first budget. Yeah, 6 months late. I mean, but better late than never. I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be too many people happy. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I've got Chris Regis coming in tomorrow to talk about budgets, regional, municipal, Ontario, um, federal. So we're going to be talking about everything tomorrow. We're taking everything on. And Chris, you don't pull any punches. He'll tell you exactly what he thinks. Okay, over to my second sponsor, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And when times get bad, what you need is a good pizza to cheer you up. Believe me, I know about pizza. That's what I do. Times get bad, you need a good pizza to cheer you up. And the best place to get that pizza is Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. And now they have a new location for the northwest part of Niagara Falls on Thoroldstone and Keeler Road. And why? Because these guys know how to make a pizza. That's why. It's pretty simple. You use the Mancini family recipe that's been around for over 40 years for the crust and the sauce. Excellent, tried and true. You take a beautiful blend of brick and mozzarella cheese. You blend it in the right ratios on the pizza with the sauce. You put fresh toppings on. You throw it in the oven and you cook it to perfection. How can you beat that? That's why Pete's Pizza makes such a good pizza. Don't tell anybody. Keep it between us. They make one of the best pizzas in Niagara Falls. You got to go down and get a pizza. You want one. It's Pizza Monday. I call every day Pizza Day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Doesn't matter. Pizza's great any day of the week. I love it. I love the pizza. And Pete's Pizza is one of the better ones. But they don't stop there. They have great wings, poutine, steak and cheese poutine, chicken parm sandwiches, panzerotti, you name it. Full menu. Open till 2 in the morning, Friday and Saturday for your convenience, and till midnight during the week. You can't beat it. 905-374-2222. Order yours. Go to their website, petespizza.victoria.ca, or you can use Dime-Skip. All the services. They get them all. Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue. Support our sponsors. They support the show. They support the city. They're good corporate citizens. Okay, so while real estate is tanking, there's one business that is seeing a surge in sales. And that business is right here in the Niagara region in Fort Erie, called Airbus Helicopters. There you go. I'd love to have a helicopter. I can't afford one, but I'd love to have a helicopter and fly it. That'd be great. Now, they've lined up 4 new H-130 choppers for Niagara Helicopters. Niagara Helicopters over here is getting 4 new helicopters. They're ready to go. And the new ones are supposed to be a quieter version than the old ones, those choppers, because they're deadly. They're noisy. Dwayne Charette, president of Airbus Choppers Helicopters in Fort Erie, said the company has had the best year ever in 2024 when it manufactured 39 choppers, including 20 for commercial and civilian market and 19 H-135 military training choppers for the Canadian Air Force. That is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. It doesn't sound like a lot of helicopters to build, but that's a lot. That's a lot. They're pretty complicated machines. A lot. They're doing good. He said the trend is continuing in a speech to 350 employees that gathered at the Gilmore Road facility to celebrate the completion of the choppers built for Niagara Helicopters. And Niagara Helicopters ordered their choppers 10 years ago. Yeah. At which time the the Niagara Airbus, um, switched over their line to build the H-130 choppers, and it's proven to be a safer vehicle as well, quieter, more comfortable than the other choppers. Says it's better than the other ones in this class, has more features, giving tourists a view second to none. Hail the Jesus nut. And if you don't know what the Jesus nut is, look it up. It's called the Jesus nut because you'll be praying if something happens to it. Believe me. So last year, Niagara Helicopters decided to add to its fleet. So business must be brisk for them as well. They take a lot of tourists out of their Niagara Helicopters. And they decided that the order would be given to Airbus in Fort Erie, and they're happy and glad that they did. Many thanks to Alan Benner for the great article in the review where you can read more about the Airbus helicopters. Just go to the review. There you go. So that's great. 4 new helicopters, quieter, better, more efficient, better operating, better views, less noise. Yeah, you can't beat it. So watch for those 4 new ones flying around. You'll see them. Don't worry, they're there. Okay, so we know one thing: the grab is always on the taxpayer. We know that, but a story might slip by a lot of people, but it didn't get by me. I'm watching all the time. You could soon see higher electricity bills now that the Ontario Energy Board has announced their new electricity prices. It never ends, does it? And this was a small little article I found, not really blasted on the front page, which I'm surprised at, but I can understand why they want to keep it a little bit hush hush. The OEB says the new pricing will take effect November 1st. That was Saturday. All Saints Day, Multisante. So today's November 3rd, so they are already sticking it to you while your meter ticks. They're picking your pocket. So how much are they going to ding us for? Well, the on-peak price will be 20.3 cents a kilowatt hour. They were 15.8. So that's like 30%. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Mid-peak, 15.7 cents a kilowatt hour. That was 12.2, so another 30% there. We get hammered. And off-peak was 9.8 cents a kilowatt hour, and it was 7.6, and that looks like another 30%. So they jumped their prices 30% across the board. Their bill is going to be 30% higher. And off-peak runs from 7 at night till 7 in the morning. Mid-peak is 11 in the morning to 5 p.m. And on-peak is weekdays 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. But doesn't really matter because here's what I tell people. Listen, they say, oh, we're all going to do our laundry at night and blah blah blah. You know what's going to happen? They figure on peak hours by the most usage, right? So if everybody changed their habits, you know what's going to happen? Whenever they're doing it after 7 at night or whatever, from 7 till 11 at night, that's what they'll change it to. They got you. There's nothing that's written they can't change the hours. They got you. They just shift it around whenever they want. They change mid-peak to on-peak to low peak, low. Twin Peaks. You can't win. It's all about the money, the buck, and they'll get it out of you no matter what. You ever hear them say it's going down? The price of power is going down. No, they never do. As a matter of fact, they pay more to these guys with the solar things on the roof of the buildings than they charge you for it. Any deficits we make up, the taxpayers, so we're paying for it anyway. Now, if you happen to be sucked into the EV craze, if you got an EV, you may be eligible for ultra low overnight pricing. You can charge your EV and pay lower prices. Or maybe if you're running a grow op, you can tell them it's an EV. Now you can use the OEB, Ontario Energy Board's bill calculator, to calculate your monthly bill and see if switching to the ultra low overnight rates will save you moolah. Maybe it won't. You have to see how much you use. If you have an EV, we're talking about. The reality is, there's not much you can do. You need power to get anything done, and most people are sleeping during off-peak hours. They give you the increase just to let you know, but they don't give a damn. They don't care. Let's increase it whatever we want. The government says, yeah, go ahead. We get HST on everything you increase anyway. We make money, so what do we care? Oh, they got you either way. You have to pay up. They'll give you, it's only one pizza a month. Remember that. It's only one pizza a month. I want my pizza. I don't want to spend the money on the electricity. Give me a pizza. Oh, here's another thing that's going to pick your pocket at some level. I find these things. The NPCA, Niagara Peninsula Conservation Authority, has approved what they are calling a maintenance budget, with an increase of 3.59%, which means Niagara Region's contribution will rise to $8.2 million, up from $7.95 million in 2025. So the maintenance increase, see, they have all these different names for it. Maintenance increase, inflationary increase. Oh, yeah. Growth, GDP increase. They always have a name. They make up a name for it. This is a maintenance increase. This is maintenance. Yeah, it's not that we want to charge you more, but we need it for maintenance. And, really, they should just use a blanket term for all of it, a baloney increase, a BS increase. But there you go. It means $8.2 million for the region, a little bit more than last year. And of course, who pays that? Because the region's got no money. You know that, right? The only money they have is tax revenue from us. Yeah, so our bill's going up. Not the region's bill, it's your bill. And just another stab at your wallet, and your wallet is quickly filling up with moths. Because there's no money in there, it's gone. Just get moths in there, it's empty. Better put mothballs in your wallet so you don't get moths in there. Over to this goofball. Oh, there goes the sword truck, Gary Wilkins. You like to follow that around. There you go. Just went by. I don't know what they're doing. They seem to drive around and sit around a lot. Well, Chili Con Carne has warned all Canadians that they must just accept a lower standard of living, saying, we must sacrifice. We does not include him. We. Yeah, that's us poor slobs. Yeah, that's us poor slobs. We does not include him. He ain't sacrificing nothing. As a matter of fact, you just got an $80 billion contract from the BC to build nuclear power plants or something. Another $4 or $5 million from the Ukraine, which he gave them $4 or $5 million to pay him back. That's the way it operates. We means you and me. Does not mean him. Meanwhile, over in Ottawa, here are some international assistance monies that were spread out in 2024. That's your money being given away to other people instead of Canadians. We must sacrifice. Tighten your belt. Why? Well, the Ukraine got $2.1 billion. South Africa got $165 million. Haiti got $172 million. $172 million. That's more than the country's even worth. Bangladesh, and nobody really even knows where that is, $164 million. West Bank and Gaza, $151 million. Pakistan, $104 million to Pakistan to build more nuclear weapons. Ghana, $115 million. Is Ghana in South America or Africa? I don't even know. Nigeria, $106 million. Aren't they fighting a war over there? They probably need it for weapons. In Kenya, the birthplace of Barack Obama, $107 million total. $12.29 billion just given away to other countries. Can you imagine what 12.29 billion would do to help the homeless and fill the food banks in Canada? No. No, you can't have it, Canadians. You can't have it. They say that money could fund every food bank in Canada to the tune of 2.2 million per food bank. And these are the 2023-24 numbers. Who knows what the numbers are this year? I have to look that one up. Can you imagine what the 2025 number will be with this goofball Carney in? He's been giving away money like crazy. Old Chili Con Carne has been giving money away to every country that asks, like a drunken sailor on a shore leave. I always say that. Billions upon billions to the Ukraine, about 22 billion, including 12.4 billion of direct financial support, billions to support the EU military regarding Arm Europe initiative, which is around a $1.25 trillion plan. And I'm sure he gave about 123 billion to them or something. Yeah, they want to increase European defense spending, and well, he's not doing anything here, is he? He's arguing about submarines and planes that we don't need. That's all he's doing for us. Canada's pledged billions and even troops on the ground in the Ukraine if they need them. I mean, when did Canada become part of the European Union? He's pledging all this money. Totally ridiculous. A total ridiculous country. Totally ridiculous leader. Kind of makes sense when you think about it. You look at him and Trudeau. I mean, it makes sense. We know for sure Canada and Canadians come last on the list of people that Chili Con Carne and Trudeau himself want to help. Chili Con Carne and the boy Blunder. What a pair. And they're all ours. They may be a-holes, but there are a-holes, right? We own them, I guess. Well, don't want them, but we have no choice. Okay, to my third sponsor. And then we're going to get into the Elbows Up Canadians, a Travel Health Insurance Association. But first, Hamel Machine Company. And no matter how incompetent our government is, we know we can count on one company in town to do what's right for their clients. And they've been doing it since 1948. Hamel Machine Company, that's right. Hamel Machine Company, been around since 1948, helping small business, large business, and homeowners to solve their problems. They machine, they retool, they have milling machines, they have you name it, they can do anything. They can take apart and fix a broken part. They can take it and re-engineer it. They have the 3D printers, the water jet cutters, and the experienced and skilled staff, the technicians to be able to do it. And they've helped the wine industry. They've helped the agricultural product industry, the food industry, the city, the region. They do work for everybody because they're that darn good. Bob Benner over there at Hamel Machine Company and his staff know exactly what they're doing. And they don't only re-engineer stuff. They make it better because the more production you can get out of a machine, the more money you make. They re-engineer parts that they send all over the world. They're innovations. That's what they do there. And like I say, they haven't forgot about us. If you need something fixed, welded, if you need it fabricated, redesigned, designed, they can do it. They can do it all there. Hamel Machine Company. Go to their website, hamelmachine.ca, and you'll see the fantastic work that they've done for the wine industry, innovating their barrel racks to make them easier to deal with. It's amazing. It really is. Hamelmachine.ca is where you go. Support our sponsors because they support the city. If you need anything done, any of your machines around your house that you use, like snow blowers, they can fix it for you. They'll do it. Hamel Machine Company. Good guys, corporate citizens that are second to none, and they do a lot for the city. Support our sponsors, they support the show. Okay, elbows up, Canadians. We're still at it. The Travel Health Insurance Association of Canada released its 2025 Winter Smart Traveler Survey. And they found that most Canadians are going to be skipping U.S. travel this winter, with only 26% saying they will head south to the U.S. this winter. And that's a 37% drop from last year's survey. Now, I don't know what they said last year. The number might have only been 40%. So it sounds like a lot more than it is, but it is still a drop. The pullback is sharpest amongst us boomers, us old people, with only 10% saying they would be heading south to the U.S. this snowbird season. And when they say that, there's a lot of factors that are involved in that. They make it sound like it's elbows up and tariffs and stuff. It isn't that. I mean, have you ever seen the cost of health insurance to go away for the winter for 3 or 4 months? It's a lot of money. And at 45% on the dollar, the exchange rate, it's a lot of money. And with the media putting out stuff that's going on at the border, where you can only stay so long, and then you got to report back, and you got to get this, and you got to get this form and that form. I mean, they're making it sound like it's almost impossible to go there for your snowbird 3 months, but it's really not. It's really not. It's more media hype than it is reality. There's places you can go and they'll help you. The government will help you to get there for the amount of time you want to get there. If you have the money to be able to spend, I mean, you still got to rent the place at a 45% premium. If it's 2,000 US, it's 2,800 Canadian, 2,900. So yeah, it is expensive. The pullback, they say, is the sharpest amongst us boomers, which I don't doubt that at all. We're all old now. The real reason I think that they're dodging travel to the U.S., though, has very little to do with the Trumps and tariffs and elbows up. I think it just comes down to economics. I mean, it's very high to travel to the U.S. and stay there, especially with the Canadian dollar at the low it's at right now. Of course, as the Trump administration tightens the screws at the border, the media has struck fear into Canadians by printing horror stories at the border, seizing cell phones and all the other stuff they say that happens. I've been over there several times. Nobody seized anything. We never had any hassle going there or coming back at all. Where are you going? Erie, Pennsylvania for a couple of days. Okay. Bringing anything in? Nope. See you later. And they make it look like the Americans are harassing Canadians. Oh, don't go there. They're going to harass you. They're all mad at you. No, they're not mad. The Americans don't care about these tariffs. It's all baloney. It's all baloney. It's all the media hyping it up. Elbows up. It's nonsense. And the thought that Americans are mad at Canadians. They don't talk about tariffs. You ask an American just to go to Erie and talk to people about tariffs, they don't even know what's going on. They have no clue. They don't know. They don't know. Most of them are just either they either hate Trump, TDS, or they love Trump, what Trump's doing, and they're happy. And if you're Canadian, well, that's fine. We have no problem with you guys. You're all right. You're our buddies. So if you want to go south. Go. Don't listen to any of this nonsense. But be aware it's going to cost you a bit more. And there may be some paperwork. If you're going to stay an extended period of time, you have to have that paperwork filled out and that kind of stuff. That's all. So don't worry about it. Enjoy yourself. You only live once, boomers. You don't have that many years to go. Enjoy them while you can. Believe me. There'll be a time you won't be healthy enough to go if you're still alive. Oh, speaking of health. You like coffee? So do I. I drink 2 or 3 cups a day. Easy. A new study is from the Journal of Nutrition, looked at data from the National Death Index of Mortality and found that low to moderate coffee drinkers, 1 to 3 cups a day, that's me, was linked to a 14% lower risk of all-cause mortality and cardiovascular disease mortality. Beautiful. but only for those who drink it black. You do those Sing Horton double doubles, yeah, you're not going to see the benefits from it because the fat and the cream and the sugar are going to kill you like anything else, saturated fats. Got to go black to avoid the heart attack. Choose your coffee accordingly. But there you go. 1 to 3 cups, 14% decrease in a risk of all-cause mortality and cardiovascular disease mortality. I like it. I'm going to go home and have a cup of coffee. Speaking of health, remember how many times I said COVID was a hoax, that the vaccine was harmful? How many times did I sit there with Peter Dichter and talk about it? I've talked about this for 3 years on the show now. And finally, the truth is coming out. Now, here's this fly again. It's driving me nuts. It's like the movie The Fly. Help me, help me. Yeah, there was a COVID-19 virus in the mRNA genetic injections study done. And here's the letter from Dr. Maravik Via, MD, principal investigator, COVID-19 in the mRNA-based genetic injections injury study that they did. As the lead investigator on this study, I can say with full confidence that what we are uncovering represents the AIDS of the 21st century. AIDS of the 21st century. Not caused by HIV, but by the combined assault of the COVID-19 virus and the mRNA-based genetic injections. Our clinical data, drawn from thousands of real patient records, reveal clear evidence of immune collapse characterized by persistent spike protein expression, T-cell exhaustion, B-cell dysregulation. And dysregulation means an alteration or impairment of the regulation of a metabolic, physiological, or psychological process. Autoimmunity, chronic inflammatory activation, they're all there with this vaccine. And they're not theoretical models, they are measurable, reproducible, immunologic findings seen across vaccinated and unvaccinated infected cohorts alike. So, wow. For the first time, we can directly compare immune function across 4 key exposure groups spanning years before and after the COVID-19 pandemic. The patterns are unmistakable and deeply concerning, pointing to a progressive, possibly irreversible immune deficiency status. And they call that V-AIDS. This research has the potential to end the mRNA era once and for all by exposing through hard data the profound and lasting damage these genetic injections have caused. Together we can expose what has been done and begin to heal what has been broken. I am blessed to have these brilliant and exceptional doctors and researchers as my team. Byram Brindle, MD, Mark Trozzi, MD, William Makis, MD, David Spiker, PhD, Nicholas Hosher, MPH, Master of Public Health. That's what that stands for. So we see 2 things are evident. There was an influenza-type virus that was named COVID-19, and the vaccinations did more harm than good and affected the immune system similar to AIDS. So they're calling it V-AIDS. Vaccination AIDS, which is where we see turbo cancers, heart conditions, vascular conditions, myocarditis, and a host of other problems caused when the immune system is suppressed by the mRNA. And the next step, finding a solution to this problem created by the mRNA injection. Stay tuned. It had to come out. It was going to come out, and it has come out now. So there you go. Doctors are even starting to talk about it now. Okay, over to the U.S. We're supposed to see some big riots today. I'm going to be watching the news this afternoon because of this shutdown, the government shutdown. And of course, everybody on the left is blaming Trump. It's Trump's fault, but in reality, it isn't. Every Republican, first of all, Trump doesn't have anything to say, it's the Senate. But every Republican has voted to open the government so they can release funds to these people who are receiving, they call them SNAP payments, or like food stamps and money. Even though every single Republican voted, the Democrats have voted it down 13 times. And the only reason they're voting it down is because they hate Trump. What they want is $1.5 trillion given to illegal aliens for health care. No, it's not going to happen. And another part of that is they want to give, I don't know, 650 million or something like that to the LGBTQ causes. Now, John Fetterman, who everybody considered the crackpot of the Democratic Party, he's proven to have, he's a senator from Pennsylvania, he's proving to have the most sense of them all. He's siding with the people on this one. His statement, I am not just representing Democrats. I refuse to call members of the other team fascists or Nazis, because if you do, that implies the people that vote for them must be that too. And that's not true. I know and love many people who voted for the president. They aren't Nazis. I refuse to engage in these things. We really have to find a way forward after the tragedy of the Charlie Kirk death. People deserve to grieve. I'm not going to try to make points. Father was shot in public. Now let's just people realize the tragedy and grieve. And let's get this government open so other people don't suffer. So all that's needed to open up government and get this money to these people that need it, and there's 42 million of them, is that the Democrats, we need 5 Democrats just to step up and vote with the Republicans, and bang, the government is open again. Bang, money's going to go to everybody and everything's going to be good. But these people who didn't get their payment November 1st, Saturday, All Saints Day, they say they're going to storm Walmarts and they're just going to start stealing stuff. And their basic thing is they can't arrest us all. Let's just go into Walmart, clean off the shelves for what we need. You know, TVs and running shoes are usually what they grab first, and call it a day. They can't arrest us all at once. And this is supposed to be going on in every city in the United States. And, you know, the cities are preparing for it by boarding up businesses and that kind of thing. But my bigger question is, why are 42 million mostly able-bodied Americans on food stamps and government assistance? And, you know, that's not a good thing. Because, listen, if the government is giving you money, giving you everything for free, they can also take it away. And we've seen what's happened. The Democrats have taken it away from these people, even though they're blaming Trump and the media is blaming Trump. It's the Democrats who are taking it away. And that's why it's very, very important that you go to work and you own your earned money. You earn your own money. I said it backwards. But you know what I mean. So they're going to take to the streets today. They're going to rob all the Walmarts, empty their shelves, and blah, 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 blah. We'll see if that happens. And it really, really, really hammers the point of electing a socialist mayor of New York City who wants to up taxes on businesses, give free bus rides, free education, defund the police, fire police, hire more social workers, paid for by the government, of course. They want to, he is going to kill that city if he gets elected tomorrow. And we have our own Canadian budget being handed down tomorrow by Chili Con Carne. I mean, we should have that in the spring after he got elected, but he put it to the fall and he said, be used to it because from now on we're doing our budgets in the fall. Our only hope is that the other 3 parties, NDP Liberals or NDP Conservatives and Party Quebecois, vote against the budget and have a non-confidence vote and get rid of this guy. That's our only hope. In New York City, their only hope is Curtis Sliwa. He's going to go in there and straighten things out. If this man Dandy gets in, New York City is gonna fall. It's going to be done. Watch TV. We'll see what happens. We have the election tomorrow, New York City. We have the budget tomorrow. And what else we got going on November 4th? There's something else going on. Federal budget. November, what? Oh, man, I can't forget. I forgot what it was. Federal budget, election in New York City. There's something else going on. I can't remember what it is. Interesting. But tomorrow, we have Chris Regis coming in. Maybe that's what it was. Chris Regis is coming in. And we're going to talk budgets, police budget, regional budget, city council budget, city fighter fire budget. You name it, we'll talk about it. We're going to go through some numbers. And we're going to throw in the question of who will replace Jim Bradley as regional chair. Should be a good one. You got to tune in. Tune in live on 4680q.com or catch the video later in the afternoon on YouTube, X Rumble, or Truth Social. I can't remember what else I was looking forward to tomorrow. That budget. New York City mayor's race. And today was November 3rd, supposed to be the riots. I guess that's what I was thinking of. Anyway, tune in tomorrow. Chris Regis in the house. Should be a lot of fun. Should be a good show, informative show. We'll get through that. Don't forget our sponsors, Wild Bill's Auto Repair Body Shop, Pete's Pizza on Victoria Avenue, and Hamill Machine Company. Go to the YouTube channel, comment on the video, thumbs up, thumbs down. Come on, subscribe, get notifications when I drop another video. Come on, get involved. We need people involved. That's the problem. 27% turnout might give us the best government, best city council money can buy, but it sure doesn't give us the best city council. Let me put it that way. My name's Paul Kalemir. Your city, your voice. 4680Q Radio in downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. Across from the Meteor Crater, which is another place that we're waiting to be developed, but there's no money out there like we were talking about. Have a great day, everybody. It's miserable out there. Stay warm. Watch out for the rain. We have a low pressure moving in with rain. And God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow at noon with Chris Regis. Promises made, promises kept. I'll be here at noon sharp with Your City, Your Voice. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.